The Arms Warrior has one identity in Misto Pandaria, and that is AoE. They are the best, most mobile AoEer in the game, and that's really important. Not only they have very good AoE damage, they can get to the ads as they spawn very quickly, and they can even control the ads. They got AoE CC now, so there is a lot of options, and any fight that has any sort of ads, Arms Warriors are gonna destroy the miders and they are gonna be very, very useful. So how do we play it? First of all, let's talk about the talents. We are gonna take double time so we can charge twice in a row. It is super broken for dealing with ads. Warbringer is also very decent. It is a root, once again, for that control identity. If you need to kite ads or something like that, this could work. It is more of a PvP talent, but sometimes you can use it. We're gonna go for double time, obviously. Next tier is gonna be defensives, and that's gonna be enrage regeneration. It is just a big heal. You can use it when you're stunned, so there is a lot of mechanics that sleep you or stun you. That's like a scripted part of the fight, and this will let you heal through it. Usually after they stun the entire raid, they do some sort of AoE damage, so this will help you survive that. But it is just the best cooldown for regenerating for defensives. It's gonna help the raid, so we're gonna go for that. Then we're gonna go for Disrupting Shout. It is an AoE interrupt. If you need any sort of interrupt, Disrupting Shout is absolutely bonkers. Otherwise, if you do not have any sort of interrupt that you need to do, we're gonna go for Piercing Howl, but having a ranged AoE interrupt is freaking huge. Now we're gonna take Blade Storm for Boom Boom. It just does the most Boom Boom. You AoE, you spin around, you can move, you do a lot of Boom Boom. However, in some fights, when the mobs are stunnable, you might want Shockwave. Shockwave is less Boom Boom, you sacrifice Boom Boom, but you gain a stun. You stun the enemies for 4 seconds. In any fight where the mobs are stunnable and they are a problem, Shockwave is so much value, you have to take it. Anyway, otherwise we're gonna take Blade Storm. Most fights, almost every fight, we're gonna go for Blade Storm. After that we're gonna take Vigilance. That's a utility spell. It's gonna reduce the damage of somebody by 30%. You can put this on the tank and boom, the tank gets a full new defensive cooldown on top of everything. So that's absolutely bonkers. Another reason why the Arms Warrior is very useful, even though they are not the best damage anymore. They are still very valuable for the raid. Look at all the cool stuff they can do. And finally we're gonna take Bloodbath because it is free Boom Boom. It is 30% deep wounds for free. It is a lot of freaking Boom Boom. Absolutely amazing talent. Oh boy, the Glyph talents do not work in this website. Okay, we moved over to a different website. We are gonna take the Glyph of Unending Rage. It is 20 more maximum rage. There is never a scenario where this will not be useful. You are gonna take this pretty much every fight. Then we're gonna take the Glyph of Death from Above. It is just less cooldown on your heroic leap. Movement is a big deal in Pandaria. Any movement is very much appreciated. And then we are gonna take Rude Interruption. Every time you interrupt, you get a 6% damage bonus. That's the only actual Boom Boom Glyph you can get in here. Your Glyphs are pretty useless, honestly. Like they are fine, I guess, but they are not a big deal for you. If you feel that you are never gonna interrupt anything, maybe the boss doesn't cast any spells or something, you can go for either the Glyph of Mortal Strike. It is 10% extra healing to you when you Mortal Strike a boss. That is not nothing, but it is also pretty freaking worthless. And you can go for Glyph of Sweeping Strikes. If you're gonna AoE, you get 1 rage every time you hit, which is also pretty freaking worthless. So yeah, if you don't want to change your Glyphs ever, honestly, you do not have to. It is not a big deal at all. And your minor Glyphs, as in any other Pandaria class, they are absolutely useless. Your stat priority is very simple. Of course, your base stat you're gonna take. Every item is gonna be a strength item. That's number 1. After that, we have 2 very important caps as a melee that we have to hit. First of all, you're gonna get your hit cap of 7.5% hit. After that, you wanna get your expertise cap of 7.5% expertise. After that is gonna come Critical Strike, after that is gonna come Mastery, and at the very bottom is gonna be Haste. As a non-caster, Haste is not a very big deal for you. Yeah, you hit a little faster, your dots will tick a little faster if you hit a cap. I don't even know what the caps for your deep wounds are. Honestly, I got no idea. And that's because I do not care. Reforce your haste into crit or something every single time. It is not very good. Now your rotation is actually simpler than in Cataclysm, believe it or not. You got two little rotation, two sub-rotations really. You gotta do Colossus Smash. This is the secret Krabby Patty recipe. You do 100% armor bypass. You go through the boss's armor. And that's gonna be the main thing that dictates how you play. Sadly, it is on a 20-second cooldown and it is a 6-second duration. Now that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 globals. And that means there is a perfect combo when you have Colossus Smash. Now, of course, you want to keep Battle Shout up on you at all times. I'm gonna leave a Wikora in the Discord for that. Very simple Wikora. Here is how it works. Now we are gonna open with Mortal Strike. Why? Because Mortal Strike is gonna give you free overpowers now. And we need that overpower. And then we're gonna do Colossus Smash. We are gonna pop Berserker Rage. It is not on the global cooldown anymore. Pretty cool, huh? And we are gonna spam slam until Colossus Smash ends. Pretty simple, that's the burst combo, and your burst is actually pretty good. Now, outside of Colossus Smash, we're gonna just do Mortal Strike, #1 priority, then we're gonna do Slam. If you are low on rage, I would say like 60 rage, below that. We are gonna do Overpower instead, because you get free overpowers. It is only 10 rage, it is super cheap and efficient, and it has 60% extra crit. Now, it is not often the case that you have to Heroic Strike. Heroic Strike is an instant ability now. It is slightly more damage than Slam, yes, but it is designed to be very rage inefficient. So you only do Heroic Strike if you are absolutely rage capping out of your mind. It is not very often. Now for the execute phase at 20% it gets even easier. We are gonna keep Mortal Strike up on the target. We are gonna do Colossus Smash whenever we can, absolutely. And we're gonna freaking spam execute. If you are out of rage, we are gonna do Overpower instead until we can go back to executing. That is right. We have reverted back into the full vanilla suck execute rotation. And I think that is a cause for celebration. That is very, very good. The boom boom is finally complete once again. Now, just like any other expansion, we have cooldowns and we want to pop those cooldowns. If the fight is going to be longer than 3 minutes, because your DPS cooldowns are 3 minutes, we are going to pop them at the start and then at the end. We're going to pop them twice. If the fight is going to be longer than 3 minutes, we are going to save them for the very end, because execute phase is when you do the most damage. So if you pop your cooldowns during execute phase, you are going to get the most value from the cooldowns. We are going to do Recklessness, we are going to do Bloodbath, and we are gonna do Colossus Smash into the execute phase. But if Colossus Smash is down, if Colossus Smash is on cooldown, we are gonna do Shattering Throw. It is a 20% armor reduction, and once again this is gonna be the most value when you get every other cooldown on the boss. But all 3 cooldowns stack with each other and they exponentially scale off each other, so popping all the cooldowns at the same time is the best way to do it. Also, Heroic Leap does a lot of damage if you can do it during Colossus Smash. I didn't wanna put it on the rotation because it is a little silly. I like saving it for movement, that's what I would do, but if you're in the execute phase, you know, the last seconds of the fight, whatever, you wanna boom boom for a little bit, Heroic Leap does do good damage, believe it or not. 45-second cooldown though, so make sure you're not gonna have to move. Now Berserker Rage is a little more complicated. Your crits have a chance to enrage you, to give you 10% more damage, but Berserker Rage will give you the same effect. You may wanna have a Wikora for it. I am gonna drop a Wikora for it on the Discord as well, on the Warrior channel. If your enrage goes down, especially if you're doing a Colossus Smash phase, or at the very start of the fight, I would pop it at the start of the fight too, because you do not have a crit yet, I would absolutely do Berserker Rage. It is a 30-second cooldown, there is no sin, no problem, no shame in popping it every single time it's up. 10% damage is 10% damage. Whenever enrage is not up, you pop Berserker Rage instantly. It is not on the global cooldown, it is not gonna cost you any damage. Now your AoE rotation is where you really shine as an arms warrior, and that's gonna be very simple too. We're gonna do Mortal Strike on the first target so we can put deep wounds on it, then we're gonna immediately Thunderclap, and that way we put deep wounds on every other target. Then we're gonna Colossus Smash, we're gonna pop Blade Storm right after, and we're gonna do Sweeping Strikes. Sweeping Strikes should go on cooldown pretty much, and then we just spam Slam. Slam cleaves with Sweeping Strikes and it does a quadrillion damage. If we are out of range, we can do Overpower, and if you can spare it, Heroic Leap is an AoE and it is a really good AoE. 45-second cooldown. Once again, do not waste it if you need to move, but if you do not have to move, it does a lot of damage. A lot of the time, the good part about Heroic Leap is that when mobs are spawning, they are away from you, so you can leap to them, and in the act of moving to them, you do a lot of damage to them anyway, so that's the best way to do it, but Heroic Leap is absolutely great. Now for the gems, our meta gem is gonna be the Reverberating Primal Diamond, 3% critical effect, we are gonna crit a lot. Our red gem is gonna be the Inscribed Vermilion Onyx, for that sweet critical strike. The yellow gem is gonna be the Smooth Sun's Radiance, that's 320 crit. You start to see a pattern, I trust. You see what I mean? It's all crit here. And our blue gem is gonna be the Piercing Wild Jade, because it has crit and hit. Anything with crit is gonna do very well in here. That's the TLDR. Now for the consumables, our food is gonna be the black pepper, ribs, and shrimp. 300 strength, pretty simple to understand. Our flask is gonna be the Flask of Winter's Bite, once again 1000 strength. And the potion is gonna be the Potion of Mogu Power. We are gonna pre-pot, actually. We're gonna pop a potion before the fight, right before the fight. We put it on cooldown, and 1 minute later we can pot again. Usually we save it for the execute phase. It is just a lot of strength, but overall the Arms Warrior is pretty simple and fun to play. I think it is one of the best classes out there. It is not the most damage anymore, like in Cataclysm where it absolutely dominated melees. Not anymore, but it is still very useful, it is still very competent, and in certain fights where there is a lot of AoE mobs, it is, dare I say, indispensable, and that's never a bad spot to be in as a class. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching!